in Simple Economics Radio.
Hello, welcome back to Simple Economics. Today we're going to talk about a great story often told by Jorge Bucay, an Argentinian psychiatrist, that centers on how we manage our lives and how we discover our finances and our relation with our family. For that reason, it is important to start by the story and then doing an analysis on this. The story goes like this. There was a time when there was a king, and a king, as in a classical story, is a king that is often not happy even though that he has an empire, even though that he has a castle, even though that he has no worries. Basically, he was not happy, but his assistant was very, very happy all the time. And he was happy all the time, and he was joyful and smiled. So the thing is that the king didn't believe that how an assistant can be happy. Basically because he was seeing it from his view, that he had a castle, he had everything, and he was not happy, and his assistant had almost nothing, and he was happy. So he wanted to ask him why was he happy. And when he asked him, the assistant just said, basically, I'm happy because I have this castle that I share with you, I have food that you give me, I have the trees, the birds, my family sleeping at my home, and sometimes you give me some money that I can spend and buy some things. That's basically why I'm happy. The king became furious, and he was outraged by the answer because it was not what he expected, and he told him that if the assistant didn't tell the truth, he was going to die. And the assistant told him, well, basically that is the truth. The problem is I cannot say anything else because that's the truth. The wise man, the advisor of the king, was in the same room as the conversation happened, and he heard the conversation and was looking at it like with certain speculation. So the king dismissed the assistant and told him to go before he killed him, and told the wise man to explain what was happening. Was the assistant answer real? The thing is that the answer was certainly something that the wise man could not help him understand. He had to show him, and he had to show them through a circle of the 99. But the king didn't understand what the circle of the 99, and he wanted to know, so he told the wise man to show him. And the thing is, okay, the wise man told him, I'm going to show you, but the thing is you're going to lose your assistant. You're going to make him very unhappy, and this will give you a problem that is extremely, extremely hurtful for the assistant and for you, because you will lose an important person. So the thing is that the king says, doesn't matter, I'm going through anyway. And the wise man tells him that he has to meet him that night, with 99 gold coins. That was about, imagine, like $100,000 per coin, and a leather bag to get the 99 coins, and a piece of paper. That was basically it. So the king says, okay, let's see, I will see you tonight. And time passes, and they meet that night. They go to the assistant's house, and the assistant's house is far from the castle, and they travel. They get there, and they see that the assistant is playing with his kids, tucking them into bed, basically enjoying the fire with the candlelight. Everything was illuminated, and well, they stay there until the wife was asleep, his kids was asleep, and only the assistant was left. When that happened, the wise man took the 99 coins in the bag and wrote in the piece of paper, you deserve this because you are a good man. Wrapped it around the bag and placed the bag in the door. Knocked, and then he left. The assistant heard a knock, and when he opened the door, he heard the coins rolling down. So he took the coins and he looked sideways. Then he looked at the message, and it said, well, that he was a good man and he deserved this. So he believed he deserved it, so he took it inside and he started uh, putting the coins on the table. He was amazed because he never had so much money. He never had so many opportunities in his hands, and he started to play with the coins. He started to contemplate it. He started to do different things with the coins, and then eventually he started to stack him. And he started to stack them in tens, so 10, 20, and he was making the rows of coins, and those columns that basically were growing. He went until 9 rows, and the 9th row was smaller than the other ones. So he knew there was a coin missing. So when he started first looking for the coin. He looked below the table, he looked everywhere, and it was basically not there. And then he started yelling that somebody had stolen him his coin. And he was amazed at how can anybody steal him this coin? It's outrageous. So he started thinking, and then he accepted. Okay, perfect. I don't have that one coin that I need. So what I'm going to do is to start making a plan to earn that coin. So first he said, maybe I can take a second job after the king. And well, though it will take away time with my family, but in basically 20 years I can have a gold coin. And he said, well 20 years is a lot of time. Let's do something else. Let's take the 20 years and maybe if I take something of the budget of the house, maybe we eat less or we sell certain things that we eat. Maybe I can turn this to 15 years. And then he started making different scenarios until he almost, with no time and with no food and everything, he said, okay, I can make it in 5 years. And his wife would have to work, and his kids will have to work, and everybody will have to work just for him to get it into 10 years. And this started, and he started to execute this plan. And the problem is that the weeks passed, and the king later met the assistant one day, and the assistant was really angry. He was really thinking about something. He was cranky. He was treating everybody badly. He wasn't himself. So when the king told him what was happening, the assistant that was always so gentle told him, "What do you want? Am I not serving you, my king? Is this not enough?" And the king was like amazed by the answer. So I just wanted to know if you're okay. Just say, okay, my sir. Basically, I have to keep on working. And he left. The king knew then that he would have to fire the assistant. He was not himself anymore. The events have changed, so eventually he fired him. He lost the assistant, and the king learned the circle of the 99. There are different morals to this story, but I'm going to center into one. The main thing is that usually the assistant was very centered in what he had today. He was centered on the things that his family gave him, the things that nature gave him, and the thing that he simply could enjoy without investing in it more than time, which is the most valuable thing. The king didn't know this, and the wise man, before teaching him, he wanted to teach also the king that he was in the same circle. That's why the king didn't understood at first, and then he understood that was a problem. Oftentimes when we have opportunities, when we have look for money, when we look for a certain thing, maybe an ability, we're not aware that we have 99 abilities, but we're looking for that one. So we sacrifice everything for that one. We sacrifice everything for that small thing, forgetting that we have a lot of things. And sometimes it happens when someone else looks for happiness in other places when he can find it in himself. When, well, the amount of money here is enough. Maybe he can enjoy the things he has in his life, and maybe that will help him balance his financial status. The same thing happens to every one of us, that we search for what we don't have. And concerning what we don't have, Enric Fromm tells us a philosophy that usually is something that we don't have. And something that we don't have is something that is not determined. It's something that is not explained. It's something that is not in our mind, because something we can tell. For example, if we don't have, let's say, a car, we can search for the car. But when we have something missing, we're not saying what is missing. And that is the thing with the 99. That usually we go out searching, and we search for that one thing. And maybe it's just an expression like money. Maybe it's just an expression like love. Maybe it's just an expression like happiness. But we don't determine what is that happiness. At least what we can learn from the system is that he had a plan. He knew how much the coin was worth. He knew how much he had to work. But sometimes we don't even define what we're after for. We don't even define where we're going. We don't even define what it's worth. So concerning that, we usually tend to end the story the same way as the system does. Unhappy, feeling incomplete, when 99 is okay. When 80 is okay. When just having one coin, it's okay. Because that is the most important thing that we can say. The most important thing is to value everything that we have. Not to protect it as it was forever, but to know that today, in this day, we have the ability, we have the possibility of enjoying everything that we have. Tomorrow, we don't know. So basically, that's the moral I wanted to share. This is Simple Economics, and thank you for listening.